Hey everyone, this is Wei, and let's do another Overwatch character, and this time we're gonna draw Hanzo. So let's get started, and I'll talk about the process along the way. Alright, so let's draw this character. I'm gonna try to draw the full figure, so it's gonna have to be a little bit smaller on screen since it's kind of like a standing pose. Alright, so I'm just gonna rough it in. Let's rough in, let's say the body, the upper body. So I just make a little mark like this, kind of like a square shape, right? With the wide shoulder. So this will give me some kind of reference point to start with. And then we can start sketching in, let's say the head is right around there. And then we can do the arm coming straight down. Okay, and now we don't have to put in too much detail for now. I'm just kind of all in the roughing in process. So let's say if this was his, I'm trying to draw his clothing a little bit just to give me some more reference points. Then here's some belt. His belt comes down like that. And then I'm going to draw his legs. And this is really wide. So if you kind of look at the whole shape, it's almost like this, right? From his shoulder down here. So you get this overall kind of like your major shape, right? So you see this line, it's kind of flares out on his pants right here. So you just kind of, if you squint your eyes, that's the kind of shape that you would see. And that's what I'm just really trying to tackle right now, just getting those basic shapes in first. And then let's see, once you have his leg here, we can do, he has very skinny legs. We can just kind of come down. It's kind of longer. It's longer than, yeah, it's almost the same distance. If you go up from his pants, from his knee all the way up, it's kind of a half, right? So we can just sketch in something like this. And then for the foot, always kind of notice the slant, like here, the toe. From that toe, there is a slant to it, right? Because this foot is always a little bit forward, because there, it is there's a little bit of perspective. He's not facing front. So those are the little things that are kind of important to give you a better sense of the pose. Okay, so we're gonna go this way. Let's see, okay, I'm going back up. Let's see, his body slanting down this way. His arms comes up. And then his other arm kind of is hidden behind. I'm just going to draw like a little right there, just as his fist. Again, that arm is behind something. Well, actually, it's behind his body. So it's more important that we get the rest of the body first. That arm can be easily drawn in. Okay, so he's got this little skirt area, for lack of a better terminology. All right. Alright, let's see, go up. Let's do his arm first real quick. Okay. Let's see, he's got looks like some canisters. I haven't played a game, so I don't know what they are. Look like grenades. Okay, his arm. And then for his hand, just kind of measure where does it end. Where does it end? It looks like it's, if you go from his belt to his knee, it's kind of like halfway. That's what I'm seeing. So you can draw like a little fist like that. Very simplified shape. And I hope you guys can see this because I'm drawing it pretty light. And then his bow are very massive. So we can go, let's see. Now if you go to the tip of his bow, you can kind of measure like where, if you draw a horizontal line from the tip of his bow, it looks like it's ending right around a little bit above his waist, right? So if we go a line like that, so then we know that tip of his bow is going to hit somewhere right here. Okay, so that's how we get those reference points. Okay, and then once we have that, we can do in the little details later, and then his bow is going to be straight. And we can draw this line now. It kind of, it goes like above his knee. So, all right, so let's draw this part. See, symmetrical again, well, mostly, and it curves in like that. Okay, so that'll give us a decent, yeah, we can adjust that later. Might be off because since our clothing was kind of roughed in, sometimes we're measuring from the clothing, but the clothing itself is not all that accurate right now. So, all right, let's go. Where should we go? Well, we can go back to the head, or we can do that later. Yeah, let's do that later. All right, let me rough in some of this main body part. Okay, so let me, and this is gonna be, because the head itself can be adjusted easier, and it's a little bit easier to do the head last. Okay, so he's got a lot of stuff going on here. Hope I didn't get myself in trouble in drawing something so tedious. Okay, so let's see, 1, 2, and 3. It's got clothing coming down here. Just, see that arc. All right, double line. Then this tucks in over his shoulder. Okay, it's got the little bow on the back. We don't have to draw that now. But let's draw in some of this close so we get some corner. Let's see. Sometimes it's kind of hard to make out what is what. All right, so it tucks in right here. He's got a little pouch right here. We can simplify that. Don't draw in the details right now. Just kind of do like a little box. Because, it might or might not be in the right placement. And it looks like he's got some kind of rope thing going on. All right, and then his the blue area, the blue belt area. Yeah, that's gonna be a very important reference point. And then there's some more cloth folding over. Okay, so all right, this is not too bad in terms of accuracy. Okay, and then we gotta do some more clothing in here. Some more stuff going back here. Again, it's it's kind of like a anime drawing, the cell shaded. So sometimes you can't tell exactly what is what. Okay, so once we have this, we can, well, let's continue on to the body. All right. So we're just gonna go straight down. Looks like this one. There's a little double the clothing, and then this. When you draw this, just keep in mind, check yourself with the slant. This thing goes up a little bit, and then this goes this way. So those are the little slants that you kind of want to get. Just kind of double check, once in a while. Okay, now here's baggy pants. Okay, one big area. Let's see the middle part, somewhere around here. Then it meets up with the other pants, right? At the other side. Okay, now we can draw, let's see, well, let's draw this side first, and then we can go to the other side. Okay, now this is kind of a little bit robotic. Just keep in mind that this slant here, that's why I drew these lines like that. Okay, let's see, so they're like kind of like guidelines. So this thing, yeah, it's kind of complicated. So I'm trying to simplify it. Let's see, that, something like that. All right, let's see. And then we go straight down, his foot. Check his angle. It looks like it's coming this way a little bit more. It's almost bending backwards. Okay, and then we're gonna draw his foot here. Again, not too much detail. We just simplify it just like that. I think that's good enough for now. And then now we can go to the other leg and see the features are slightly higher, right? So this one higher. Okay, there's two things on the side, the flaps. And then his this looks like his kneecap area. And then this thing comes down again. Flares out a little bit and then goes straight down. Very skinny. And we can check the line from these two. It looks like it's almost horizontal. Okay. And then we're gonna go, it flares out. Again, meets up to the toe area. The line is very important from this line here. Okay, so not too much detail, and then so that kind of gives us, that's not too bad. Right, let's look at the camera. It's easier to see sometimes when you're further away, and looking at the camera is actually very, very good. very good way of checking. All right, so let's do his arm. Very big muscles and very angular. You see this line, right? It's kind of like straight down. So those are things that are very important, because when they design a character, there's a lot of like overarching, larger shapes, and those shapes are very dynamic. It's kind of what makes things interesting. And again, this is greatly exaggerated, obviously, so it's just for design purposes. Okay, and then his fist is holding on to this thing. Okay, so again, not too much detail. I didn't go into the fingers because, we can do that later. I just want to get the better position. So this is kind of like the second pass, right? The first pass was, you guys see how rough it is? It was just like, some really basic lines, and then on the second pass, I kind of went in and, got the little edges a little bit more. And then, so this is, let's just call this the second pass. All right, let's see. This thing meets up here. Again, kind of robotic. So a lot of little stuff going on. I'm not going to sweat the little details for now. Okay, I'm just going to try to get these curves. Okay, very rough. All right, and then the other side, again, sometimes these are a little bit difficult to draw because, I know it's not perfectly symmetrical. There's different design elements, but there are parts that are just symmetrical. So, these are stuff that are kind of painful to draw sometimes. It's because it's like this blue shape here, right? Well, let me see. Maybe I need to draw some of this first, just so I can give myself some better reference points. This blue strap here kind of comes right here, and you see this blue area. It's on this leg, right? On his left leg. So that's kind of how you can judge it. Okay, and then this goes straight out, and it kind of meets up right at the edge of this area right here, this leg, and then that's when the other design element comes in, this other shape. So that's how we measure. Okay, and then draw this line. Okay, all right, so I think we have that. And then there's some back elements right here. It looks like it's clothing flaring out. Those are not important. Now his arm, this should be relatively painless. So his arm, let's see, he's got a pouch here, and then his little robotic arm comes down here like this. His fist is right around here. Okay, then his fingers, just a couple, so I'm just gonna sketch that in, and then looks like his arms right around here, and then his clothing, let's see, comes down over the arm a little bit, kind of like that. All right, so again, we can correct that later if we want to. Looks like his shoulder, maybe a little bit too wide. I'm just gonna adjust it for that because that is kind of an important shape. Okay, and now finally we can get to the head. All right, the head, let's see. There's a tilt to the head. It's very angular. It's kind of like, if I'm judging the distance, it's kind of coming down. Yeah, that's probably close. Okay, so again, the overall shape first, and then we can go in with the detail, and we can actually use like the hair right here. That's a good reference point. Let's see the eye on here. Not a lot of detail, don't go in too much. The nose, and then his little beard, goatee. His mouth like that. Not too much detail, it's just, keep it light for now because it might be off. Okay, and then we can do, let's see, looks like his hair on the top. All right, so once we have that, then the rest is actually fairly simple. And then it looks like it's flowing cloth thing. Again, very stylized. Kind of like that. Coming down this way. This one first backwards. Meets up to that edge right around there, you know, roughly. Again, this stuff can all be off. It's not important. Okay. So so here's the overall sketch. I'm just gonna turn it sideways so you can see a little bit better. So that's kind of a, I mean, it's a little bit of a tedious process. Let's see. All right, let me check this neck area. This clothing needs to come down this way. And then from here, it'll just be basically a lot of line work. All right, so I'm just gonna, let me do this face area real quick, and then I can probably sketch the rest off camera. So like here, let's see, it's eyes, eyebrow. I'm using a 6B, so it's gonna be fairly small. I can't do too much detail here. Okay, it's one eye. This other eye, so I'm gonna forget about that little hairpiece for now, since it's important to get the eye position. His nose. Okay, his little goatee. His mouth slanting down. Let's see. Oh, you guys can see that, yeah. Should be okay. You see, it's just really simple. A couple of lines, couple of harsh strokes. Not too much detail. You can't go into too much detail when you're drawing this small anyways. Okay, let's say his hair. Then his neckline. Let's see, it's other piece of hair coming down. Now he's got it like cell shaded kind of anime style. I'm actually gonna do a little bit more shading because I think it would be a little bit more interesting. Since we're doing with pencil, it's much better that way. So his hair's got a little bit of very simple strokes. You know, just kind of flickering. Very useful strokes, just kind of flicker like that. Okay. A little bit more hair down here. Just trying to get the expression, you know, the look of it. Okay. His hair flips up. It's a little bit higher. Very simple, basic kind of shadow area. Let's see, there's a little bit of shadowing on the face. I'm wondering if I should do, okay, let's do it. It's sometimes a little bit easier if I use like a 4B or 2B for this kind of lighter shading. Okay. Casting shadows. Half of his face is dark. A little bit of pouting area right there, that's important. Let's draw in the goatee a little bit better. Shadow for the hair, this is dark. Okay, so you can see how it's coming together. Let's see. And then this shadow area for the neck. So I'll probably do a little bit more, you know, a little bit more realistic, I guess. Not exactly like the drawing where it's just kind of cell shaded. Right, this body details can go in. I'm not sure about the tattoo. I don't know if I want to do that. I guess, yeah, we could probably simplify that. All right, so that is this Hanzo character. I'm gonna do the rest with a speed drawing off camera so I can do a little bit quicker. But you know, the shading is pretty much the same as this. All right, so I'm gonna finish this and I'll be right back to show you how it looks. Alright, I'm back, and here's my final drawing for this Hanzo character. I just kind of pushed it more. Pretty much, everything was shown with the speed drawing. Now, let me actually rotate this so you can get a better view of the whole thing. So, what I kind of want to talk about is that in the reference, there's a lot of stuff going on here. It's very busy and it's mostly dark. So I just kind of took the liberty and made the pants a little bit darker, and then that way you can see like some distinction between the two. So that you can so that everything is just get all muddy up, right, if it's too dark. So this is darker than this, and then also the blue bell, I made it a little bit lighter than the rest. So again, it's just taking liberties and to make it so that we can tell what shape is what. Even though not everything in here makes sense, but you can see that something is going on, right? So it's kind of good enough for this kind of illustration. So in terms of shading, very simple, not a lot of shadowing. Again, it's a game model, so it's more like an illustration. So when you shade it, try to be a little bit sure, a little bit hard on the strokes. Just kind of a lot of these little flicking motions, and hopefully it'll look a little bit more professional. And they do tend to look more professional if you're sure with your strokes. So even though some of this stuff, some of the strokes might be wrong here, as long as you're kind of sure with it, it actually improves the drawing. So overall, this was a lot of fun to do. It's a little bit tedious right here, but not too bad. It's a really cool looking character. So anyhow, this is my final drawing, and just give it a shot, see how it goes, and I will see you next time.